Greetings, ladies. So we're coming upon the new moon of May 25th, 2017. And I am so excited to be here. And I'm going to do my little introductory video and introduce myself. Above all else, it's important that you know where I'm coming from and what struggles I've gone through and why I'm still working with the obsidian egg. So I'm on this journey with all of you. So one memory that I was having that I haven't shared is that back when my early 20s, I'm about to turn 33. So when I was about 20 years old, I was traveling around Central America, visiting all of the sacred sites, the pyramids. And every time I'd go to a sacred site, I would plant a crystal, and I would plant a prayer of tobacco, and or I would go there and pray with my body, and my body would open to all the energy grids and begin to show me different movements that aligned to the celestial energies and to the grids and the geometries there. So I had a lot coming through me at a young age, and all I knew is that I had to go to these secret sites and activate myself. And then I started to get invited by some of the Mayan elders and some of the local people to actually, I don't know how this one thing led to the next, and I was leading dances in the sites of not Teotihuacan, what's it called? Tikal, Guatemala. I was leading sacred dances as part of the Mayan fire ceremonies, and we would lay ourselves on the pyramids and become activators of these oscillators of energy that would come into our bodies because of how they were aligned on the grids of the planet. So I'm trailing off here, and I have my crystal with me from Brazil. So this one is going to take a moment for this little download to happen. Crystals are also oscillators of energy. And so as we work with our obsidian crystal, I want you to feel how it oscillates in your womb. How does it feel when it's in there? How does it feel when it's not in there? How does it feel when you think about the stone? And when you think about what you know about the stone, and when what your blood knows about the stone, what your body already knows about the stone, the obsidian. So I'm just sharing that because I planted prayers for the wombs of all of the women on the planet. And that's one of the origins of like why I'm doing this work. Why am I doing this work with the obsidian egg? I had a lot of wounding as a child. I had somewhat of physical abuse as a child, emotional, eating disorders, and some drug addictions as a teenager, and because of just imbalances that were passed down to me from my family. So I went on these journeys and traveled and traveled and traveled until I planted the right prayers and began to find myself and reclaim my power, reclaim the parts of myself that I gave away without even knowing that I gave it away. And I might have given it away, or maybe my mom gave it away, so I automatically started to give my power away. So these are deep stories that we carry in our wombs. And every time I met a woman traveling, she too was healing a story of pain in her life that connected back to the story that was in her womb. And so this is a collective feeling, and this is in the collective subconscious of all the women on the planet who are waking up. If you speak to them, whatever pain that they have, may it be a toxic relationship pattern or addiction or a physical symptom in their body, it all goes back and relates back to memories that we store in our blood, in our wombs, and even in our hearts. So once I started planting those prayers, I started to learn about Indigenous ritual, Native American ritual, and sacred dances. And now I go back to Mexico to do this work with a group of grandmothers and Nahuel grandmothers, Aztec lineage grandmothers, who have led me into the mysteries of the moon, the mysteries of the practices that the women have been doing, but have lost for 500 years. So there's a reclamation of these practices that are beginning to happen, and they've only showed up in the past 25 years. The obsidian egg, the moon dance, the woman praying with the obsidian pipe. These are very new, 25 years as opposed to 100 years, 200, 300 years. So 500 years ago, this female goddess cult was killed off by armed men. And this was all written in the codices that were found that contained the manuscripts or contained all the knowledge of the dance that was revived. It is this dance that I go to in Mexico every year that brought the obsidian egg into my life. So the obsidian came into my life as a result of prayer and dedication and seeking and wanting to understand this power and this depth and this wrath that we hold as women. So my intention, before I get into my intention, what this stone has done for me, it has cleared debris out of my womb that I didn't even know was there. It has helped to regulate my pH. I have not had, for the past 3 years since I've been working with this stone off and on, I haven't had a yeast infection. No yeast. It can't, it can't carry bacteria or viruses. So it kills off yeast in the vagina. And I have had this experience of strengthening all my pelvic floor muscles and beginning to access muscles, pubial seagull muscles, deep internal muscles around the vagina that I didn't even know existed, or that I had to isolate in order to keep the stone up there or push it out. So if you're kind of wanting to have a stone with a hole drilled in it with a string attached to it, you're actually missing out on developing the muscles that it takes to actually push the stone out. Okay, what else? I have had amazing enhancements in my sex life. And as a result of working with the stone, I started working with it when I was in a partnership of 4 years. And at the time, it was maybe 2.5 years into the relationship. And it brought up a lot for us together as a couple. And it started to help activate my pleasure that was turned off. And it helped to strengthen and tone the muscles in my body. And eventually, I didn't ever think I would leave this man or this relationship, but eventually the stone purged so much out of me energetically that my vibration and my tone was at a new heightened place of awareness and of vibration and cleanliness and integrity. And my partner wasn't meeting me there. And I can assure you that it was the obsidian that just pulled him out of my life and out of my body and out of my psychic field. And so that relationship was no longer serving me. And relationship, there's a new relationship in my life now that came right in. It basically came in as soon as all of this truth surfaced, and I wasn't looking for it. I'm not one to jump from one relationship into the other, but this other man came in beaming and showing me what it feels like to be met by my beloved. And I felt all the juices turn on in my body. And I felt every layer of my psyche aligning to the levels of compatibility that I was being met on. I was being supported by. I was being shown that my energetic blueprint had evolved. You know, when we're trying to change the blueprint in our DNA and we think we're just going to repeat what our ancestors have done, that are kind of residual detrimental cycles that are painful. And because of it, we find partners that are also in pain cycles, and that attracts us to each other. So that was what my past relationship, it was very deep and very powerful and beautiful, but there was a residual cycle of pain and suffering that we were in together and in our own bodies. And when I broke out on my own, he didn't have the capacity to step up with me. And so another man stepped in and showed me wow, this is actually what you deserve. And I can assure you that having a man contain and build his energy for me, and me being able to contain and build my energy for him in return, because of what that stone, the obsidian stone, has shown me about my own vulnerability and power and feminine energy and sexual energy, my vagina, my juices, everything. Everything has been regulated, and everything has been turned on. And because of it, I'm informed up here. I'm informed. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful journey. Sometimes it's hard and it's intense, and you want to pull out your hair and scream. I'm even getting just hot talking about it. And know what? Do it. Scream, be wrathful, let it out, express yourself, because that blocked energy, that blocked emotional energy, or maybe it's that joy and sex and bliss that you want to even express that frees you. Whatever it is, I invite you not to hold back anymore. Your truth, the truth of how you really want to be with yourself when you're alone, and the truth how you really want to be with people when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're confident in your own skin, and when you have some stone down there to contract and hold and feel your power and your strength from. And it anchors you into your center. It anchors you into what you know you are and you can be for the world. And when you know yourself and you walk around, nobody's going to fuck with you. And people are going to automatically be attracted or detracted to you because there's protection around you. And you're clear. When you get clear with your intention, which is what I'm going to teach you. This is like a spell. I know some of you don't like the word spell and magic, but our words, the first word that we use, every word that we use is casting a spell into the universe for manifesting what we want or we don't want. So if you keep saying, I don't want more toxic relationships, I don't, and you might be actually attracting what you don't want, is more toxic relationships. If you say, I want a beautiful relationship that is so full of support and nourishment, where my man shows up for me or my woman shows up for me and cooks meals for me, and we hike together, and we cook, we plan workshops together, we plan vacations together, and we take care of each other, we nurture each other. When somebody's having a bad day, we know what to say and what to do and how to support and hold space. I'm just giving an example. So whatever it is that you're dreaming for right now, whatever it is, dream high, okay? If you want to meet your beloved, I am living proof that this stone can help clear out what's getting in your way from attracting that perfect life partner. And if you're ready to have a baby and you just want to clear out levers from the past, you want to clear out painful cycles from the past or toxins in your body so your body can be strong and healthy, and this is a great practice for that. If you're having memories, sexual trauma, addictive cycles, negative thinking cycles, which we all get into, just know that this starts here and now. Here and now. You're making your commitment to yourself first. Okay, I'm gonna drink some chocolate and I'm gonna keep talking for a moment. I gotta give you this recipe. It's hot chocolate, raw cacao with turmeric and cardamom and almond milk. Okay, so this is the first time I'm actually just like openly sharing what my intention is working with my obsidian stone. Usually it's very personal and I don't share it. I might share the results. But right now I feel like it's a good time for me to open up and be vulnerable and let you know that I'm working on my ancient shit with you all. And it's just peeling away layers. There's so many layers that I've gotten to, and so many breakthroughs and epiphanies and great results that I've gotten. And I actually am going to make a list of all these amazing results that women that I know have received, testimonials of women who've had amazing breakthroughs in their life working with obsidian. I I have an addiction. Yeah. And I haven't been I've been kind of including that addiction into some of the shadow work, but in the past, but right now it's really clear and surface that like I need to work on this addiction. So it's not it might not be what you think it is, but for me it's a big deal. I'm addicted to caffeine. To caffeine. As here I am drinking chocolate. um since I was a little girl, I had my first cup of coffee. I think I was like 13 or 14 on my way to school. My mom passed me a cup of coffee because I woke up tired and she said, "Here, try this." I went to school, 13-year-old, and I was like, bing, this is so much fun. I can focus. And I was just like, wow, I've never had so much energy. I'm going to do that again, again and again and again. And it just became like an immediate coping mechanism. And my first job at 14 years old, I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. And so just got free coffees all the time. Not in bad coffee. But here's the thing. This is a big deal for me because my father, um, he's he's a good man, but I've had quite a disconnect from my father my entire life. And when my mom was pregnant with me, my father, he was addicted to cocaine and dealing it. If you looked at him now, you wouldn't even think that that was anything he ever did. But when he was younger, did cocaine. And the reason I'm sharing this is because there's now kind of this genetic blueprint of being addicted to amphetamines for me and my sister now. We've both gone, I haven't been addicted to cocaine, but I've been addicted to uppers in my life. And the way that I've kind of, and I did all the drugs, and I was addicted to Adderall, which is and Ritalin, these kind of drugs as a teenager that gave me lots of energy. And so is my sister, and she's still on a lot of pharmaceuticals that are uppers, you know. And now I kind of watered it down for enough years of like going back from like mate to coffee to chocolate, and always grabbing something that has caffeine in it, and then seeing myself get wired and wired and wired and burnt out and angry and all these things. And now I'm finally having thyroid issues, and I do so much for my health. I bring in so many good herbs and supplements and practices, but it doesn't matter because I know that the caffeine is burning my adrenals, and my adrenals are getting fatigued, and they're affecting my thyroid and my hypothalamus and my endocrine system. And there's some bigger issues that are starting to manifest because of that. So it's a serious thing. And there's deeper layers with my ancestors there, you know. They have patterns of emotionally overeating, and there's patterns of a lot of intestinal disease in my family and stuff like that. And I have some symptoms of stuff like that starting to manifest. So I'm working with this stone now so that I can heal my addiction and not be giving my power away over just some need for energy, right? That I need to replenish, that I can fully sustain my own energy and not be dependent on anything outside of myself. And what's really hard is that I enjoy it. You know, I make my coffee with bulletproof with coconut oil and cardamom and ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is good for the adrenals, you know, and I just completely convinced myself that it's healthier and more adaptive to my lifestyle. And it has been. If I hadn't been making these little adjustments, I would be probably pretty sick right now. So thank you for listening to me and even getting to know me a little bit for this journey. So I don't know if you can see who's behind me, behind my head. It's a beautiful goddess. Okay, ready? She's got, you might not see, my camera is really crappy on this computer, but here we go. Woo! She is the ultimate mother. There's like waterfalls going through her breasts and a whole ocean in her womb and all these power animals coming out of her. So she's full on Mama Gaia. My friend Manouche, a really cute French woman. I'm subletting her home. She's in France right now and leading a group of women. So she's this cute little fairy woman who does psychic readings and paintings, and she leads women into the caves in France to do journeying work and vocal activation work. So it's really cool. If you ever want to be connected to her, just write me a little letter. So I just wanted to bring you a little bit into my world tonight, and I want to hear about you. So I invite you, if you have the technology, maybe just introduce yourself on camera, you know, and let people know your journey, your intentions, your superpowers. Um, Feel free to share what's comfortable with you. And if you're not ready to share yourself on camera with the rest of the women on the group, just write, go ahead and post on the Facebook page a little bit about yourself and why you're here. And we can begin to connect and get to know each other, because this is, even though this is technology, and technology is a whole new world for me, but it allows me to access you, right? It allows me to support you and support this deeper psychic process that we're all going into right now. So much of what I've been doing has been on the earth, in my body, you know, and teaching yoga and dancing and going to different places in the world to do these like intense earthly rituals. So bringing this group online right now is a major stepping stone and breakthrough. And I just want to acknowledge the blessing that technology is in our life, and that we get to use it and utilize it in a way that is optimal to our health and our well-being, because it exists. May we use it with the right knowledge and integrity. And with that said, and this is going to be in your information packet, I really want you to consider once a month taking a personal retreat. Well, at least for these 3 months, especially because it's summer and it's beautiful out. And I'll give more instructions on it in the time to come. But think about taking one day out of the entire month, put it on, block it out on your calendar now, and don't let anything get through there, because it's for you. You're gonna digital detox, okay? So no phones, no computers, but no music even. Don't put on any music. You don't need it. It's time to turn inward and listen. If you want to be in nature, if you want to camp, if you want to journal, hike, whatever it is. But if you can really, you know, just be with yourself in that time, it's so valuable. And once you leave that space, you're just going to want to return to it. So this is Vision Quest, right? And this is a good way to, you know, prepare yourself for Vision Quest. Of course, if you want to fast or whatever you want to add into that, you can. So I look forward to this journey. And it's a super moon. Super moon means that the moon is the closest to the earth that it could possibly be. And because of that, it erupts certain deep patterns and emotions. So if something's being reflected to you in this time that is a little bit intense and difficult to look at and work at, then it's probably perfect timing and aligning to begin to cultivate your intentions and do some journaling. So with that said, I really look forward to our time together. And I look forward to seeing my own progress, as well as the progress and dance and journey of you on this journey. So, Ashe, Omateo, gracias.